Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show, highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyles, community, and neighborhood. And now, from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Our house in the middle of our street, our house.
Good morning and welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County, and welcome to the week right after Springfest. And it was such a shame, Dorothy, that the weather did not cooperate.
No, but it was typical April weather with all the rain.
Well, it was typical April weather, but we're actually having a real true spring.
Yes, we are. It's nice and cool.
Yeah, the pollen's gone, but the allergies still seem to persist with a lot of people, myself included.
Yeah.
And I've got a friend here today. We're gonna talk about a lot of things, from allergies to health to nutrition, supplements. She's been a past guest on our show, Karen Frye, and she owns one of the single most iconic stores in Southern Pines, Nature's Own.
Yeah, they've been there forever, it seems.
It is. I mean, I'll go out on a limb and I'll say it's probably the strongest lifestyle store in Southern Pines. And,
I'd have to agree.
You know, every time I have clients who come into town and we're out looking at homes, we always make it a point to stop in there for lunch. Because the clients who come from all different parts of the country, they look around and they get a real sense and a real feeling about a community, the people. It's a very personal place. It's a great place to eat. It's a great place to shop. And Karen, I'm glad. It's been a while since you've been on, but every time you have been on, I've always learned something and I take notes. And I'm ready to do that again today.
Okay.
Nature's Own is really hitting on all 8 cylinders. It's become a 24/7 occupation for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
You live between the Bikram yoga studio and Nature's Own. You're like the Energizer bunny.
Fortunately, the yoga studio is right across the street from the store, so I don't have far to go to get to my second love. Actually, I do love it so much. I'm so glad to have it here in this area.
You've created you really have created a lifestyle, as a lifestyle retailer or a retail operation. I see people from Southern Pines all the time when I go in for lunch, people that I know. There's definitely a sense of community in that restaurant, in that store. You've got to be very proud of what it's become.
Yeah, I guess I do think of it that way. I actually don't think about how proud I am. I think about how grateful I am.
Right.
That I've been able to, we just celebrated on Saturday, April 25th, was 28 years for Nature's Own. So we've been in this community for that many years and been able to survive and still serve the community. And we've made so many wonderful friends, friends who became family in the way we feel about each other. And that's what I feel. I feel gratitude. I'm grateful that most of the people who've worked with me in Nature's Own have been with me for many, many years.
Right.
And so I think we have a great group, and we just we're very loyal to each other, and we're very loyal to bringing the best we can bring to the people who shop with us.
For all the new people who keep moving into Moore County, tell us again the story. 28 years ago, where did you start, and how did you start Nature's Own?
Well, I started as a very small business in a building that's no longer there, which was located in front of where Cam Square is, which is just down the road a piece from where we are now. It was about 600 square feet, 400 to 600 square feet, and it was very simple, wooden shelves, cash register, and I was the only employee, and it was great. I put it together. I had books and even sold Birkenstock shoes and pet food, groceries, vitamins, and just started out very small and simple and just expanded from there.
28 years is a long time.
Yeah.
And it really has become one of the most successful businesses in town, at least from what I can see as a layman. So you started selling certain products, but you started an expansion at different points as the market dictated.
Yeah. Yes, I did do that, yeah.
And when did you make the move over to the present location of Nature's Own?
That was about 15 years ago in 2000.
Oh my gosh,
So,
that was
yeah,
15
so
years ago.
expanded the store and expanded the restaurant, and tried to expand the store there again 4 years ago, so we would have more space, so we could get in more and more products. Expanded the juice bar, so we actually serve delicious, delightful, very healthy food at the juice bar. We've got some real favorites that people enjoy, like the bison burgers. We use the Carolina bison, which is the farm up in Asheville that Dr. Frank King, a homeopathic doctor, it's his bison ranch. And we have a variety of things, some raw things, some hay, some great salads, kale salads. We have green smoothies and juices, carrot juice, beet juice, celery juice. We've got some. If you're looking for a healthy lunch, we could probably make you very happy.
What do you attribute that's the subculture of wellness that seems to permeate so much of Moore County these days, that might not have been as strong 10 or 15 years ago?
Well, I think it's more mainstream now. I think you know every magazine you pick up is talking about how you can detox your body, or how you can eat kale, or how making green smoothies and juices. So it's prevalent out in our society across the world, actually. So I think that it's thank goodness landed here as well, because back when I started, it was not that way. It was quite the opposite.
Right.
I was the kind of like, what? You're going to eat sunflower seeds? And organic wasn't a word common in anybody's vocabulary. They didn't care.
Right.
Antibiotic and hormone-free. So all these things have come to the forefront of people's thoughts and what they eat. And hopefully, if not, it has, so that we can become healthier. We're a pretty sick country compared to a lot of other countries that are not as well off as we are. Even, I think, third world countries may have better teeth and stronger bones, and maybe even have longer lifespans with less available to them. So I feel like finally we've maybe woken up a little bit and started to pay attention about how valuable our health actually is.
Right. There is a changing demographic going on in Moore County. We have a huge influx of younger families coming into town, and it's great when you walk into Nature's Own. You see such a great mix of people from all different age groups. It's not just one generation. It's a combination of almost three that I see.
And I think families are paying more attention about what their kids eat. They're more careful. They're really taking it seriously, which is going to make hopefully a big difference as far as things that kids suffer with, like attention deficit disorder or whatever, ADD, ADHD, autism, early onset diabetes. I mean, there's so many things that taking care of your baby from infancy on up can really, make their lives much healthier.
One of the things that I find confusing, the internet it's a great resource, obviously, but there's so much information / misinformation about food products, what's healthy, what's not. Everybody's got a point of view, and some people have an attitude, well, if it's online, it must be true. You have to combat that all the time, don't you?
Well, I don't use the internet very often. I mean, if somebody comes in and they want to know something good for something I've never heard of, or they've looked up something on the internet, and I'll go behind them and see if I can kind of figure out what's going on. But it's not my best place for researching, because you can get some conflicting information, and you don't really know what to trust. So I try to go, I still use books, and I try to go to or maybe Google the author of a book, somebody who's reputable, who I know for sure has been studying whatever it is I'm researching for a long time. But, I think that you have to expand beyond that, or you're just going to get a very narrow point of view of what is, maybe best for whatever you're looking for. I mean, it is definitely a wonderful tool, and it's definitely taught a lot of people about different things that they can do as far as supplements and herbs and such, that where they can actually take charge of their health and take control. And hopefully stop relying so much on pharmaceuticals and medications, and maybe turn more to what actually is going to improve your health most of the time, is what you eat, what you drink, and if you exercise or not, which is going to make a huge difference, and we can talk about that in a bit, and also your attitude, how you think. So I think that there's this whole persona that we can adopt and just have a better life.
Have you seen the infomercials on TV for things like the NutriBullet and the Ninja blender?
A little bit I have, very, very little though.
Yeah, they're bringing the juicing into the home, but you have some, as you said, some incredible drinks and blends and supplement things that you put together that are very healthy. But the mainstream is starting to get on to juicing, and that can't hurt you at all.
No, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good way to get some nutrient-dense food into your body if you're not eating a lot of greens and vegetables because you're busy working all the time and, you just have to, like, eat on the run.
Right.
Yeah, you can make a juice and you can take it to work with you in a jar and you can have it for lunch or, just increasing your nutrients from fruits and vegetables is going to make a big difference. Of course, you're missing the fiber, so you don't want to, like, skip eating these fruits and vegetables, too. But it's a good way to get a good dose of things in a glass.
Exactly. What do you tell people? Because I want to go online and read something that says soda's not bad for you, but in truth, that stuff is really not good for you. What do you tell people who are addicted to Pepsis and Cokes, and you read all about how bad sodas are?
Well, I mean, I feel like, okay, we have a choice.
Yeah.
You have a choice here. You can either choose to put this concoction in your body that's totally man-made, synthetic, who knows what's in it.
Right.
Usually it has either high fructose corn syrup, or if you're doing some diet thing, it's got some artificial sweetener in it. Neither of those are going to help you in the long run. I mean, the consequences to me of regularly consuming sodas is it's going to weaken your bones because it leaches calcium from your bones. It's going to destroy your cells. It's going to create really unhealthy cells in your organs, liver, kidneys, and throughout your body. And I mean, it's got to make you feel bad. But you might get a surge of energy from the caffeine in some of these drinks, but
and the sugar?
Over the long run,
yeah.
continuously, you might as well be consuming vodka or something. I mean, not really, but
right.
To me, the comparison is just as bad, drinking alcohol and to drink sodas. But to me, it's really, first of all, think about it. It's your decision. So you're deciding to put something that's going to not be healthy for you in your body. So to me, it's clear.
What do you tell people to transition to? It's hard.
Well, I think, okay, in my opinion,
yeah.
Tea is better. Okay, to me, that's a good transition. Maybe not so sweet tea, which we like to drink around here.
Right.
I drink tea occasionally because I think tea has health benefits. Green tea, black tea, white tea. We typically drink black tea, even if it's Lipton. It is black tea. But then we add like so much sugar to it, it
right.
destroys all the benefits that you're getting. So get used to drinking your tea less sweet. Maybe add some lemon, add a little honey, add some stevia or something like that. Stay away from the artificial sweeteners.
Right.
But drink tea, and I'm not talking about drinking an overload of it. Reasonably drinking your tea, and stay off the sodas, or find something you like to add to water, like a flavor. Maybe you like this summer you can add cucumbers, fresh cucumbers or lemon, drink a nice flavored water. I like sparkling water. I think that's carbonated, so you get some carbonation if that's what you crave from the sodas.
Right. So
there's ways, and I can't tell you how many people I've talked to over the years who've said I stopped drinking sodas and I lost 25 pounds or whatever. So if you're drinking sodas and you're struggling with your weight, maybe the first thing you could do is drop the sodas.
Yeah.
Drink more water.
Yeah.
Drink some tea.
And lemon juice, you read
Lemon
about
juice
all
is
the
great.
benefits of lemon juice.
Yeah, helps to alkalinize your body.
Right.
It's a good detox for your liver. So, yeah, there's great alternatives. Be creative. Make lemonade. Make orangeade. Have anything, but don't buy those sodas. Don't put them in your grocery buggy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let yourself do it.
Mm-hmm.
Have some self-control.
You heard it right here. I could not agree more. What about all these, in the grocery stores these days, you see all these different companies making these half-gallon jugs of mixed juices and fruit blends and veggie drinks. It's becoming mainstream, probably not as organic or not as natural as what you do. But if it's in the major department grocery stores, it is getting out there.
Yeah. Well, I rarely go into a regular grocery store. I pretty much live out of my store, which is easy for me to do since I'm there every day. But if you're choosing to buy that, I think that's a far better decision than buying a
Pepsi.
soft drink. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And while it might not be organic, not everybody's so serious about that. So we all can't eat organic, buy organic. It's a better way to go. Grow your own, make your own juice from your own cucumbers and celery or radishes and beets. I mean, you can do so much in your garden, and I just started doing that really just recently, gardening.
And you have your own gardens at Nature's Own?
And 195, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of the produce that you have is from right there.
They do use a lot of that produce, yeah.
Okay. I have another, so we kind of covered sodas. What do you tell people who are trying to quit smoking? There are the nicotine patches, there's the Shantix. Are there any supplements or are there any products that you can offer them as an alternative just to help them?
Yeah, there's some homeopathic sprays that Dr. King, the Buffalo rancher, he has a homeopathic line of products, many of them, and one of them is to help you stop smoking. There's these tea tree toothpicks that they've used in clinics where they help people stop smoking that you can put in your mouth for that fixation. And I personally know someone who still uses them, and he's been off cigarettes for years.
Really? Without the benefit of the
without
patch or
yeah,
anything like that?
And so, okay, the patch and all these other things, and these, whatever those things are called, vapor cigarettes.
Oh, God.
In my opinion, there is nothing out there stronger than the human mind. So if somebody tells me they want to stop smoking, the first thing I say is you have to make up your mind.
Right.
Get your willpower out.
Right.
And just do it.
Right.
And that's how I feel about it. There's, no wimping out on it. There's nothing worse that I think you could put in your body, alcohol, soft drinks, than cigarettes. Because, it's not, if we had cigarettes like they had so many years ago when they first started making cigarettes and they didn't spray the tobacco every week with all these chemicals and pesticides, and now most likely that tobacco is genetically modified. Guarantee it. I mean, look across the fields. All the tobacco is exactly the same height. The leaves are perfectly proportioned. You're smoking genetically modified food or plant. And who knows what that's going to do. It's just like, you're ingesting this into your lungs. Your bloodstream is picking it up. It's sending it throughout every cell in your body. It's depleting your body a bloodstream of oxygen. Your cells need oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
Your body needs oxygen. Mm-hmm. So you're basically suffocating your cells. And you're adding over 700 chemicals that they use to make a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
Crap. I mean, there we go again. It's a choice. So you can either make a choice to do something healthy for yourself or something unhealthy for yourself, in my mind.
Yeah, I'm sitting under the table right now listening to you. I'm working on it. I'm struggling with it.
I thought you had stopped already.
I have, and I think I need a new mind. I think I need a new mind.
Well, that's not a problem. We can create that, too. I mean, it's just working on developing a mental attitude that you want.
Right.
You want to stop smoking, you can do it.
We're going to come back in the second set with Karen Frye. She is the owner of Nature's Own, and we're also going to be talking later in the show about her very successful and very important yoga studio, Bikram Yoga, and what yoga can do and exercise can do when it's coupled with the right nutrition. We'll be right back.
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know. If you feel like that's what you want to do, hey, bring me down. Can't none.
We're back talking with Karen Frye from Nature's Own, and we were talking a little bit about smoking in the last set, and you were telling me a story in the break about your cousin. Mm-hmm. She was a heavy smoker?
Very heavy. I mean, she would smoke 4 cigarettes on her way from home to work, which was from Seven Lakes to Pinehurst.
Wow.
So I don't know how many packs she smoked today, but every time I would see her, well, not towards the end of my story, was I like, please stop smoking. Let me help you. I'll do anything. And she loved to smoke. She didn't want to stop.
Right.
And been smoking for like 38 years, so long time. Had problems with her lungs, probably developing emphysema, x-rayed her lungs. They had Swiss cheese-like holes in them. Still smoked. Didn't stop. Wasn't interested. Wasn't at all interested. Anyway, I gave her this book by Louise Hay called I Can Do It. And it's a book that Louise Hay wrote about how strong your mind is, and that you actually get what you think about. And it just goes on and on. It's very simple, basic information, but it's basically that you get what you think about, no matter if it's good thoughts or bad thoughts.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So you're in charge of the outcome.
Yeah.
So you're basically you're the driver in the driver's seat of your life.
Right.
So it also reinforced to her that she could do whatever she wanted to do, because Louise Hay is a very successful woman in her 80s who had an abusive childhood, very abusive, suffered a cancer at a very young age in her 20s, survived that, and went on to become a very successful writer, public speaker. She has her own publishing house, Hay House. She's published books for Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra.
Really?
I mean, all the big people, internationally famous. She is a woman, outstanding woman of dignity, integrity. Everything she does in her life, she does it from her heart.
Right.
So her books are very popular. And this book helped Tina stop smoking, and I wasn't expecting that. I didn't give it to her for that reason.
Wow. What a gift.
Yeah.
What a gift.
But because of that book, this woman stopped smoking, and she hasn't smoked, and she'll never smoke again. And it's been over a month.
And the book is called I Can Do It.
I Can Do It by Louise Hay.
Louise Hay, H-A-Y.
And it's one of the probably best books lately that I have read, and I recommend it to anybody, no matter if you're not going through a challenge. But if you are going through a challenge, if you are one of these people who spend your life thinking about the past, worrying about the future, living in fear for whatever reason, and a lot of people do that, and their life becomes consumed with worry and fear, and it compromises your day.
Right. You talk about attitude, and it kind of ties in practice thinking thoughts about what you do want, not what you don't want.
Yeah, and it is a practice, because I find myself seeping back into my old ways of thinking about the past and what's going to happen in the future. And you can get caught, and you really don't enjoy the present moment.
Right.
And there is something called mindfulness, and maybe you've heard of it, and you've heard about mindfulness workshops and people practicing that. And I clearly didn't really understand what I thought mindfulness was. Just, I didn't really know. But now I know mindfulness is being mindful of what you think and how you live your life.
I bet you there is a direct relationship between the self-esteem someone feels and the attitudes that they espouse. Next week we have a couple of psychologists coming on talking about Mother's Day. Yeah. But attitude is so important, but you have to build up the self-esteem to have the positive attitude, I would think. I think the two are probably hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a positive attitude, but you have to think these positive thoughts.
Right.
And you have to consistently go back to thinking positive thoughts, because the other thoughts do creep into your mind. That's going to happen. But the practice of bringing yourself back to being grateful, first of all, for what you have. So you have a clunky car, so you don't live in a most beautiful house. Maybe you only have a single room, and maybe you don't have the job of your dreams. But what you think about is, I'm grateful for what I have.
Right.
And having those thoughts of gratitude and thinking the thoughts of what you do want in the future.
Right.
Maybe you want a better car, a better life, a better job, whatever. If you really, I think we are meant to be happy. I think we're meant to be happy, and we're meant to be healthy. And of course, there's situations from the beginning of your life that maybe you were brought into the world with conditions that aren't favorable for this. But overall, we can strive for that, no matter what our circumstances are, and we can have a happy life.
Okay, so let me take some of your words and then ask you for maybe the beginning of a solution. So people have fear, they worry, they have thoughts about the past that can be dangerous and detrimental to creating a happy life. Last night I hardly slept. This morning I had to remediate an oil tank from a property, and I had to meet with the structural engineer at another home to find out about a situation that was not anywhere near as bad as any of us had thought. And so I went to bed last night, and our minds process. We're like Cuisinarts, and keep going. And as a result, I had a lousy night's sleep. What do you suggest to people to calm their thoughts, calm their mind, cleanse their mind?
I think it's different for every person.
Yeah.
Across the board, what you can do is breathe. If you can breathe and start doing slow, deep breaths in and out through your nose, and bring your thoughts to, okay, I'm breathing. And yeah, your fear, worry, whatever's going to pop back in, but you get right back to that thought of, okay, I'm breathing, inhale, feel the breath,
Right.
exhale, feel the breath. That works for a lot of people, and that works for me as far as calming me down. What I do when I wake up in the middle of the night, I have and am working even closer to my relationship spiritually. So for me, I repeat something like the Lord's Prayer. And that will oftentimes, if I might have to repeat it several times, but it will oftentimes take my thoughts away from whatever my worry, concerns, or crazy. It's crazy what can go on up there
That's right.
in your head.
That's right.
And it's useless.
That's right.
So it didn't do anything for you. It didn't
all
solve your
minutia,
problems.
right.
Didn't do one thing. You didn't gain anything for that. You just ruined today because you're probably tired or you didn't sleep well.
That's right.
I mean, a good night's sleep is very important to how you feel the next day.
That's right.
And happy thoughts are very important to a healthy body. So it's try to, it's like I said, it's a practice, it's work, but it gets easier. I've been practicing this for a while now, not long enough, but kind of enough to where I wanted to share it with anybody out there who might be listening, because if it can help me, perhaps it can help somebody else. And the thing about it is it's not hard. It's actually an easy thing to do, but you just have to keep practicing it.
This is a good opportunity to segue a little bit into Bikram yoga and yoga as a means to relaxing the mind, as a means to breathing better. Because I remember I actually attended a couple of your Bikram yoga classes, and I was astonished at how aerobic they were, how grueling they were, and how out of shape I was, and how I couldn't do 80% of the postures without any difficulty. And you, as the teacher, kept talking to the class about work within your own limits, set your own goals, don't compare yourself to the people next to you. This is not a race. It's just about you feeling better than you did before you came in.
Yeah.
And it's a process, and it's a slow process.
Yep, it's 26 postures. Each posture is a true Hatha yoga posture. So everybody can do the postures. There's nothing, no headstands, no
Right.
shoulder stands. There's nothing that anybody can do these postures. You may be able to do them a little differently than the person next to you, but the form is the most important thing. And then the depth of the posture comes with practice.
Right.
So there is a lot of attention to breath, and there is a lot of time for you to look directly in the mirror at yourself. So you learn to appreciate who you are. And I think that it is a hard workout, and it's not for everybody, and it is a hot yoga class. So
Right.
the sweat's there, and you're feeling uncomfortable maybe sometimes with the heat, but you get more comfortable with that with practice.
Right.
I have people who've never taken yoga who started Bikram yoga and fell in love with it eventually. It doesn't happen the first class, second class. Sometimes it takes 10 or more classes.
Right.
But the woman that I wanted to bring on today started practicing with me maybe not quite a year ago. And most of the people who come to especially my 9 o'clock class in the morning is probably over 60, 65 years old. So we're not spring chickens in there. But they're dedicated. And this one particular woman, when she walked in, she said, my husband suggested I come here and try the introductory special. And so here she was, but she said, I don't like the heat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, just try it. If you won't
She
know.
was doing him a favor.
She was basically just coming on his recommendation, thinking she was not going to come back.
Okay.
Well, she's been back practically every day since she started. She did a 30-day challenge. She tells me how much more energy she has to do her gardening and her other things, and she's just happier. She just has a better attitude about herself. Her body's changed. The shape of her body's changed.
Right.
Anyway, it's definitely not just a physical workout. It is definitely considered a 90-minute moving meditation, because in this movement, you're practicing stillness when you're in between the postures. You're thinking about breathing. You're looking at yourself, and you are just in a different place.
Right.
So I think it helps you develop stamina, determination, appreciation, and you realize how strong you are to get through the class.
Right. And you have a better sense of wellness when you've completed the class.
Yeah, afterwards. You surely do.
I started taking some yoga since Thanksgiving, 2 hours a week with John in Tampa. And it's amazing, no matter how I feel going into it, if my brain is overprocessing information, I'm calmer at the end of the hour. If I'm tired, I'm more energized at the end of the hour. And the shape of your muscles absolutely, positively do change. And then it becomes, you gravitate into where it becomes more aerobic. And you get your heart rate up so much. And what people don't get is they think, oh, if you're not using weights, you're using your body as your own lever, right?
Yep, and you're increasing the strength of your muscles, but you're also increasing the flexibility of your muscles, ligaments, and tendons, which is going to improve the health of your joints as you age, your balance, increasing your lung capacity, so increasing more oxygen into your cells, into your bloodstream, therefore into your cells.
Right.
So, it's been around for a very long, long, long time, and it's lived through ages and ages and ages of other things, and it's coming strong.
I have a sore muscle in my glute from at my left hip. I have to open it up a lot more.
Yeah.
There isn't a time that I start where I'm sore. I'm always sore with it. By the time I'm done with the workout, obviously I've gotten the blood circulation better because the pain dissipates. But it comes back. I just have to keep working on it. And it does work. And when we come back in the third set, I want to continue talking about yoga. And I want to tell you a story about John. He just had a knee replacement. 13 days after his operation, he is no longer with a cane or a walker. He was in Nature's Own 3 days after his operation with his son. He is now footloose and fancy-free.
Wow, that's a great testimonial.
And we're going to come back and we're going to continue this conversation with Karen Frye, all about yoga, all about Nature's Own, all about healthy lifestyles and healthy thinking. This is All Things Moore County.
It's for the best. If you ever change your mind, don't hold your breath. 'Cause you may not believe that, baby.
Welcome back to our final set with Karen Frye from Nature's Own and Bikram Yoga Studio. We were talking about John and his knee replacement, and he taught me something. One of the things that we work on, we do something called the sun salutation to get the heart rate up, and he's always working on my quads. And we go into the warrior postures, 1 and 2, and they start to burn. And he said, quads are known as the muscles of independence. And the word picture he put out, he said, think about somebody, an elderly person, who sits and has a hard time getting up, has to brace themselves and push up off the arm of the couch or the chair or whatever it might be to help them. So he worked very hard prior to his surgery on his quads, so that he was going to be in the best physical shape he could be in to help facilitate the healing process. I mean, 13 days after the surgery, he's fully free to walk around and do what he's doing, and he's back to teaching yoga.
That's amazing.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, very, very good testimonial for the benefits of paying attention, doing something positive for yourself.
Yeah. And the muscles, and if it took us a lifetime to get to where we are, we can't expect that it's going to take a month to get back to where we thought we should be.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong commitment.
It is. And it's That's why you have to enjoy it and
Yeah.
not like be disappointed if you're not doing whatever somebody else next to you in class
Right.
is doing.
No swearing under your breath.
Yeah,
Right.
no, and just be passionate about it, or maybe not passionate about it just yet, but you probably eventually will be, which you obviously are.
Yeah.
And that comes along in time, I think, but seeing the benefits happen as you go through the process.
You said you would always say to your class, you can measure yourself against yourself. Your range of motion will gently or gradually increase by doing the same the same 26 postures. You'll find that the more you do them, the more flexibility you have.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, the one thing that I liked about Bikram yoga over other yogas I had practiced over the years was that it was always the same class and there was a great structure about it.
Right.
And I could see my progress from month to month or year to year, whatever. Seems to never be an end to this destination. You're always kind of working on something.
Right.
But I liked the fact that I could measure my progress
Against yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's fascinating because a lot of people think, well, yoga is not that physical, and it truly is.
It's very physical. If you
Absolutely.
don't think so, just come into a class and see what you think.
Right.
You'll have a different perspective about people who do yoga.
If they do want to sign up, you put in the room beginners, people in the middle, and maybe people more advanced, and they're all doing the same
thing.
Same
So
thing.
there's not a beginner class. Every class is a beginner class, even for teachers for anybody,
Okay.
and everybody has their level of practice,
Right.
and it's done in the same room together. We just have to make sure you're trying to do it correctly.
Right.
So
And it's a state-of-the-art facility as well. I mean, it's for you, it's like a dream come true, isn't it?
yeah, I'm very happy
Yeah.
that I have this yoga.
Your sister, if I
Yeah,
recall, she
Teresa.
is she still a student?
Yes, she is.
And she's seen the benefits because she looks different
Mm-hmm.
than she did a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I never imagined that my sister Teresa would like yoga, but she actually went with me first time to one class, I think maybe one or only two maybe, before I had the studio, and she loved it. And I was like, what? Because it took me a long time to even get her in the room, and now she just loves it.
Right.
It's changed her body. She
Right.
loves how she feels afterwards. I mean, it's truly a whole body workout.
Right.
And not just muscles, tendons, and ligaments, but also internal organs. You're stimulating with yoga, but specifically with Bikram, we like to talk about it. You know, we like to talk about what you're doing for your thyroid gland or your endocrine system, you know, your pancreas or your heart and lungs. So we like to identify things in the body that these particular postures are helping.
Right.
We do a lot of compression and then extension, so keeping the blood away from the area of the body and then letting the blood rush in.
Right.
So increasing circulation, decreasing inflammation.
The first time John had me do something called tree,
Yeah.
and then eagle,
Yes.
he said to me, just stand near the door, and so if you lose your balance, you can grab the doorknob. I couldn't do it without keeping my hand on the doorknob. Now, I can go 60 seconds without even being near a door.
Wow.
And, well, I mean,
That's good.
it's all relative, right? It's not, it's just progress. There are people who can probably do it for 6 minutes, and then they start moving on their calves to make it shake, to make it shudder, to stress the muscle or to work it. Yeah. And it's an amazing, where you isolate a muscle and you can really work it with the weight of your body without having to have all the apparatus that you normally associate with a gym.
Yeah. And probably somebody looking at you is probably going, well, that's not that hard.
Right, that's
You know,
right.
Standing
That's
on
exactly
one
right.
leg. It's not that hard until you give it a try.
That's right.
And you realize,
That's
wow,
right.
I really could use some stability and balance and strengthening. You know, you strengthen your feet, your ankles, and it's anti-aging your body. Yoga anti-ages your body.
Yeah, I believe that.
So that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Over anything else. I used to go to the gym. I used to go to the gym hard and heavy because I was determined I was going to get into shape and lose weight. And after a year, I was like, I'm not there yet. I thought I was going to be, like in better shape. But when I started doing yoga consistently is when I changed the shape of my body and
Right.
lost weight.
Right. And you back it up, though. You're consistent because you keep your diet intact.
It's the whole lifestyle.
Right.
It's everything.
It's all integrated.
What you put into your body makes a difference.
Right.
If you exercise or not, yoga or whatever, walking is great, makes a difference. And then it's your attitude. First being grateful, and then being happy and thinking these thoughts that are going to feed your mind good things, so you will have a good outcome because you get what you think about.
Yeah, and there's nothing more healthy than somebody who's passionate about something.
Yeah.
If they're genuinely passionate about something, it gets them up in the morning. It gets their juices flowing.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who, you said earlier, they don't love their job. They have to compensate for a lot of things and accommodate. But one of the things about your class is your enthusiasm. It's not like you're not in someone's face. It's just genuine, and it shows.
Mm-hmm. We just try to be very encouraging as teachers,
Yeah.
encouraging, but also try to be strong,
Right.
to help give you the stamina to get through the class. I mean, it's not that hard. It's what you make it, and you always have the opportunity to sit down or lay down. But we try to encourage you to keep going.
I took full advantage of those opportunities,
Yeah, and
sitting
that's
down and
okay.
laying down.
Everybody needs that.
Right. It was humbling for me, but now I can see I can get to the other side a little bit and to
Yeah.
see the benefit of it long term.
Yeah.
What does a class cost? Or how do people come in and they want to sign up?
Well,
It's very reasonable.
It's $16 for a drop-in. Unless you're a military person or a student, then it's $12.
Right.
We have an introductory special, first time only. 10 classes for $25, that is. And it expires in 10 days. So if you signed up tomorrow, you have 10 days to come to class.
Right.
For
Then they would-
$25.
Wow. That's a lot of classes in 10 days. But if somebody realistically took 4 classes
Yeah.
in that
It's
10-day
still
period.
a good buy, a good savings. And maybe in 4 classes you could see whether or not this was for you or not.
Right.
It's just a good chance and not a big investment to test it and see.
And the thing I like about your practice, and John does private stuff, there are different yoga studios. They're not competitive. They're all under the same umbrella. It just offers residents of Moore County many options.
We have great yoga studios here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I like to
something
hear.
for everybody.
Yeah.
There's the hot asana, and then they have the cool asana. So for people who don't want a hot class, and then Southern Pines Yoga
Right.
has non-heated or lightly heated classes.
Right.
So, and let's see, is there somebody else that does yoga? Those are the 3 that I can think of.
Okay. And you have a website. The website you have is for Nature's Own.
We have a nature'sown.inc.com.
Nature's Own.
And then we
Inc.
have a Bikram Yoga southernpines.com.
Okay, so you have 2 websites.
Yeah.
Nature's Own Inc.com.
Yep.
And Bikram Yoga.
Of Bikram Yoga southernpines.com.
Perfect. So people can go online very easily.
Yeah, and you can read about Bikram Yoga, and you can see we demonstrate some of the postures. There's a few pictures, and there's a couple of testimonials. So yeah, you can get a more clear picture of what to expect if you come to class.
Range of motion guaranteed to increase.
Yep. If you're a golfer, it's great for
Right.
improving your golf game for sure, because you develop a lot of core stability and core strength in this class. We work on your abs, and you don't even realize it.
Right.
Balance for sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
We're loosening up your shoulders in practically every posture, helping to release tension. A lot of people have tight shoulders and
Right.
can't even bring their hands together over their head to begin with. But before you know it, your elbows are going to be behind your head. You're
Right.
going to have so much more flexibility
Right.
in your shoulders and upper body.
The wellness, the physical aspect of yoga is well documented, and there's so many people like the lady you were going to have come on who will attest to the great benefits in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
A couple of months.
Yep.
You can.
More energy,
Yeah.
sleeping better,
Yeah.
better attitude.
Yeah. What about a couple of things aside from yoga? One of the favorite things I do when I hear you and talking about this year, we've had a tough allergy season, for instance. A lot of pollen, but quick and out. It looked like,
great, yeah.
right?
I know.
Remember that one day where the sky looked green? I mean, everything was, it was powdery. It came quick this year, but it went out quick. But there's still a lot of people who are suffering with spring colds and allergies, and they take the Claritins, the over-the-counter prescriptions. But you have some things, some products at Nature's Own that you would like to talk about.
Yeah, we have some natural antihistamines which help to reduce the inflammation caused by that invading allergen or pollen. We have a homeopathic spray by Dr. King, my fellow in Asheville.
Dr. King.
And his combination, he has regional specific combinations. So for us, we would choose the one from the southeast. So it's got more of the trees and grasses and things that we're exposed to. And I had a little difficulty to begin, well, not at the very beginning, but something was blooming sort of midway in between the allergy season where I had the, runny nose and then the stuffy nose and the sneezy, whatever, watery eyes. So I used that, and honestly, one day it was gone. So I love that particular remedy, and it's homeopathic, doesn't interfere with any medications or issues. Your body just picks up what it needs from the remedy and helps to heal itself. That's what homeopathy does. It's giving your body what it needs to actually heal itself. So it works like a vaccine, but it's not harmful like vaccines can be oftentimes harmful.
So what do you say to the naysayers who say that some of the homeopathic products are not as strong or as quick acting as some of the things you can pick up in the CVS? Rexall or something.
Well,
like
I think you have to decide, do I want to deal with the side effects, or do I want to take something that's maybe going to work even better without the side effects? I always feel like trying something natural first is a good option, and then if that doesn't give you the results, then go for the prescription or the over-the-counter thing. But I've been very pleased with, over the years, my situation of seldom, if ever, relying on a drugstore pharmaceutical medication, over the counter or whatever, to take care of my problems. So,
is it safe to say that if you work your body and you get yourself into better condition, that you might have a better chance of responding more successfully to homeopathic products than if you were smoking or drinking Pepsi?
Of course, because that's bombarding.
Eating hamburgers.
You're bombarding yourself with all the negative things that are going to affect your immune system.
Right.
So you've got farther to go.
Okay.
So, keeping your immune system strong is first and foremost in having no allergies. Everything. No colds, no flus, not catching everything that comes around. So keeping your immune system strong is a whole package as well. It's what you eat, what you think. Your cells respond to what you think as well as what you eat, put in your body.
Right.
So, and exercise.
Right.
All that's going to get your immune system. You're like, your immune system is this vague thing that's going on, but it's really a combination of like your lymphatic system, the cells in your gut. So it's very important.
It's all integrated.
Your immune system is just as important as your cardiovascular system or your respiratory system.
Right. It's an integrated process.
It is.
You can't just do one and not the other.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. It's like a well-oiled machine. Inflammation is also a favorite topic of yours. A lot of people have arthritis, bursitis, different sorts of inflammation.
Yeah, and inflammation can be in your body, and you may not even know it. And from what I understand, from what I'm reading, from the alternative world of medicine, that eventually we're not going to be worried about what our cholesterol is, because they're going to finally come out and admit that cholesterol may be not the contributing factor to heart disease. It could be inflammation. And because we have so much inflammation, we eat so many inflammatory foods in our diet.
What are some of those inflammatory foods?
Well, sugar.
Yeah.
We eat a lot of oils that contain high amounts of omega-6, which if you get this imbalance between your omega-3s, 6, and 9s, too much omega-6 causes inflammation in the lining of your arteries, in the lining of your intestines, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel, in the lining of your lungs, everywhere. Your whole body will respond to an overload of omega-6 by creating inflammation, maybe in the weak parts of your body, maybe your joints. So reducing inflammation, the more we go into learning about inflammation, there's great books by, I think, Barry Sears. He just wrote a book, I heard him on the People's Pharmacy, called The Inflammation Zone. He wrote the Zone Diet years and years ago. He's written several books called Zones. This is the Inflammation Zone. And as he was interviewed by Joe and Terry Graydon a couple of weeks ago, he actually said exactly what I said, that it's inflammation that contributes to heart disease, maybe more so than cholesterol. So we all worry about what our cholesterol numbers are, but we don't ever ask the doctor, what's my level of inflammation? So there is a test you can get. The C-reactive protein test, I believe, is one you can ask for that will measure inflammation. But you should just talk it over with your medical doctor. There may be even a better test now to see what inflammation markers are. But reducing inflammation will help not just arthritis and aches and pains, but also heart health and respiratory health and colon health and everything.
Wow. You have a lot of cleansing products as well.
Yeah.
And it's never too late to start, is it? It's never too late to make a shift.
Never.
Doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah, you still want to have a good quality of life, even if you're 99. You may live 10, 20, who knows how many more years. So don't give up just because of how old you are or whatever. I can't do this, because you can make positive changes to improve the quality of your life.
Right.
At any point.
Right. Doesn't matter. And you can have that spring in your step at all ages.
Yes. Yep. You should strive for that.
NatureZoneInc.com is the website for Nature's Own. Bikram Yoga, SouthernPines.com. People can go on and read all about the yoga studio. Anyone who has not been into Nature's Own needs to stop in. It's a great place to have a healthy lunch. It's a great place to go and do some shopping. And very quickly, there is one product in particular, the E3 Live, you wanted to talk about.
So occasionally somebody will say, what do you like to take, Karen? I'm like, well, if there's this one thing I could take and only one, it would be E3 Live, which is fresh blue-green algae from Klamath Lake in South Oregon. So it contains like 65 or more naturally occurring vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and good fat for your brain.
And easy to put into shakes, nutritional shakes in the morning?
It comes frozen. You just thaw it, and I don't put it in anything. I just put it in a little shot glass and drink it.
Oh, okay.
But you can put it in a smoothie. You can put it in juice, any way you want to get it down. Some people freeze it in serving sizes. They're serving size in ice cube trays and pop them out, and then put that ice cube in their mouth before they leave the house or in their juice. Anyway, it's a great thing, and it's detoxing every day because you get this great amount of chlorophyll. I can't say enough good things about it. And I do have CDs. If you're interested to learn more about E3 Live, you can come by and pick up one.
Come by Nature's Own. Hold off on the cigarettes and the Pepsis, and start exercising, and start a whole integrated process of getting that spring back in your step. Karen Frye, thank you for coming in. It's always good to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We'll want to see you again this year.
Okay.
Thank you, and everybody have a great week.
It's a beautiful day, I can't stop myself from smiling. If I do, then I'm buying, and I know there's no